So, hello again metalheads, back out detecting. The hazy days of summer are behind us and autumn is moving on. We've had some rain, the ground's getting softer, it's a bit cooler and the detecting conditions are fine. What you're about to watch is a compilation of the best finds over 3 days over the last couple of weekends. So, let's delve in. Okay metalheads, you can't make this up. I've taken about 3 paces, start of the session, and I'm going to break it out of the clod with you because that looks quite fancy and old and rather delicate as well. I don't know if it's an old buckle maybe. The ground's a bit softer to dig, we had rain last night. Here it comes. No. What on earth is that? I don't know. Post-medieval buckle maybe? Interesting first find though. I like it. We've got a strange little piece here. Nothing spectacular, but if you look around that edge, it looks like it's got some dentilled kind of finish where it's been pierced out, and down here it's got an arc as if it was part of a circle. I wonder if that might have been some kind of cane fitting and whether it's possibly silver. Jury's out on that one till I get home. A bit of spit and aluminium foil. So here we go again metalheads, onto an 86 signal, always, all directions. Pop the clod out of the ground and I'm seeing something round down here. Is it a coin or is it a button? I don't know. Let me give that a clean up and I'll get back to you. Well again, I'm at a total loss on this one. On an 86 signal, I don't know whether that's too low numbers to be silver. It's usually a coppery signal. There's no markings on it to distinguish it as a coin, and yet there's no shank point to distinguish it as a button. I really do not know. Strange. That's a pretty cool find, just lying there on the surface, part of a deer's antler. Might be able to do something with that maybe. If I cut that prong off there, drill it, that might make a good key fob. Yeah, I think I'll take that home with me. Cool. So I've got a few paces further on down the field. There's a bit more of it. Now that would have made one hell of a big antler. and you would not like it up you.
Your name will also go on the list. What is it? Don't tell him, Pike. Pike.
Well, I haven't had one of them in a little while. A thimble, look. Pretty battered and manked up by the plough. But a cool little find. I don't usually show buttons, but just about make this one out as a livery button. Rampant lion facing to the left. Back in the day it was probably gleaming because there's the remains of the gold gilt on it. As buttons go, that's quite fair. And now we're on to a coin again, metalheads. The underlying theme of this field seems to be George V. A halfpenny this time. In incredibly poor condition. State of that poor old thing. Oh well, we'll carry on. We've got a plaque or something here now. Number 47, oxygen test from cash holder. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, all this talk about oxygen, it's about time I had a fag. Well, I've been at it for a few hours now, and I've dug nothing but buttons, really. Now I've just hit upon this, and it's going to clean up very well, I think. A little farthing. Met the monarch out facing to the left. So that's George II. Britannia's on there on the back. I'll probably get a date off that. That is one for the pink stuff when I get home. But that suddenly kicked us back into the sort of mid-1700s. I'll take that on a slow day like today. That's cool. I like that. So that's a bizarre looking blob. It's heavy, bronze perhaps. I thought it was just a molten blob from casting. But rather peculiar that it's got all those little holes all over it. Nothing special I don't think, but hey, worth chucking in the video. Now I'm quite into that as a button, and if you can make it out, there's a crown at the top and then a couple of letters, WY. So I think that's Warwickshire Yeomanry, the forerunner of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. So probably quite some military age to that. Got to keep the bloody thing still. Yeah, I'm going to get the pink stuff on that. That's going to come up nice. There we go. Haven't had one of them for a little while. Juicy little musket ball. That'll give someone a headache, wouldn't it, eh? Another rather cool find. Little teeny tiny thimble. Stuck one hell of a knock and squashed it almost flat. And that's made out of some pretty thick copper alloy. Cool find. This side of the field ain't too bad. Well, for a guy who don't like showing buttons in his videos, ain't doing too bad this time. This one would have been silver plated, I think. Hampton Volunteers. That's one for some internet research when I get home. Can't make it up, so many cool buttons in one video. Well, metalheads, that just about does it for me for today. It's nearly 2 o'clock Sunday lunchtime, so I'm heading down the pub, go and have a nice cold pint, and then I'll head home, do a roundup for you. Catch you shortly. So here we are, metalheads, back home for the roundup. Never have I had a field with so many buttons in it. It's absolutely peppered with them. Well, so are my hands, I've been painting. Absolutely hundreds of them. I don't know whether old clothing was ploughed into the field or not, but they're all over the place. I chased this bit of a pewter spoon around the field, found a few pieces of it, a second spoon handle, a couple of thimbles, some kind of clasp mechanism, this little plaque, gas safe. I don't know whether that's something to do with one of those big gas storage tanks that we used to have dotted around the countryside. Then on to the better things. Little musket ball, very crispy George V halfpenny, a tiny piece of silver, so that's piece number 18 of the year. This very bizarre piece of bronze, not writing anything special into it, it's just really intriguing as to why all those dots are on it. Then on to the best finds. I think that's a medieval buckle of some sort, whether it's a strap end maybe, some real age to that. That little pin moves about freely through there. There would have been a second pin at one point in time. Quite chuffed with that. Little George II farthing. They don't come out of the ground in that condition very often, do they? Look at the reverse on it. Totally there. 1735. That's a beauty. And finally, this silvered button. Hampton Lucy Volunteers. Now I managed to ID this. Hampton Lucy is a little village about 2 miles away from us, and they were a volunteer brigade founded in 1803 to join up for the Napoleonic Wars, and the crest is that of the Lucy family. So some real quality local history in that piece. I think that's a really cool button. I really like that. Okay, not a bad selection over the last couple of hunts. I'm happy with that. Let's see if I can find anything as good next time I'm out. Thanks for watching.